Okay, 8.8, solving inequalities. Who wants to read the learning target? Ahan. Yeah, I can write and solve inequalities. So a lot of this is a review of stuff you learned, I believe, in chapter 6. Brody, let's not do that. Remember, I didn't give you the journal to rip apart. So go where you need to go. All right, so these properties you guys learned back in chapter 6 when you were solving equations. So this is very similar to solving equations. So the addition property of inequality means that when you have, like if you add 2 to one side of an inequality, you also have to add 2 to the other, okay? When we are dealing with algebra, so when we want to get x by itself, how do we get rid of minus 4? You add 4, and if you do it to one side of the inequality, you have to do it to the other. Okay, so that's the addition property. The subtraction property is the same thing, only instead of adding, we're subtracting. So if you subtract something from one side, you also have to subtract it from the other. These are true for this symbol, and then this symbol with a line, and this symbol with a line. All right, so A, solve x minus 3 is greater than 1, and then we need to graph the solution. So our first step is to draw a line through our inequality like we do with equations. That will remind us to do everything on both sides of the equation. When I want to get x by itself, what do I do? I'm going to add 3 because I have minus 3. Minus 3 and plus 3 cancel each other out so that x is the only thing that remains. Okay, and then if I added 3 over here, I also have to add 3 over here. So what is 1 plus 3? 4. Brody, can you write this down, please? Okay, and then I just drag that same symbol down. So x is greater than 4. Then it says graph the solution. So we're going to draw a number line. I'm going to find the number 4 and put the number 3 below it and the number 5 above it. What do we think? Open or a closed circle? Open circle, because it cannot be exactly 4. Then it says x is greater than 4. So which way is the arrow going to point? Is it going to point towards 3 or towards 5? Towards 5, towards the greater numbers. All right, B, what's my first step? Draw the line. What am I trying to get by itself in this problem? H. So how am I going to get H by itself? Yeah, I want to get rid of the numbers that are near H. So I want to get rid of this plus 6. How do I get rid of plus 6? Minus 6. So I'm going to do that on both sides of my line. My plus 6 and my minus 6 cancel each other out, so I'm just left with H, and then this symbol, less than or equal to. What is 15 minus 6? 9. All right, draw my number line. I know I'm going to put a circle on 9, and then what's one number less than 9? And one number more? Okay. What do we think? Open or closed circle? Closed, because it can be exactly 9 since it says or equal to. Okay. And then H is less than or equal to 9. So is it going to go towards 8 or towards 10? Towards 8. Whoop. Okay. Just want to make sure everybody has this written down before I put the next page up. Anybody still writing? Perfect. Okay, next page. So these properties are pretty much the same. When we are dividing by a number and we want to get x by itself, what's the opposite of dividing? Multiplication. And when we are multiplying by something, what is the opposite of multiplying? Division. Okay? So those are the properties that we will be using for these examples. All right. Solve x divided by 5 is less than 2. Okay? So I'm going to rewrite this down here. X divided by 5 is less than 2. What do I need to get rid of? I want x by itself. I need to get rid of the 5. So I'm going to draw my line. How do I get rid of that 5? Times 5, right? Because we're dividing by 5, so the opposite of that is going to be multiply by 5. And if I do it to one side, I have to do it to the other. So my 5 and dividing by 5 cancel out, and I'm left with x is less than 2 times 5. 10. So x is less than 10. Am I done? No, what do I need to do? Graph the solution on a number line. So I draw a line. What number do I need to put? 10, 9, and 11. Yeah, so it's going to be an open circle because can it be exactly 10? No. So if it has that line underneath the inequality, that means less than or equal to. Since it doesn't have that line underneath it, that means that it can only be less than.
Oh, so less than or equal to, like, that means the other one could be 10, so it is exactly that.
Yeah.
Okay.
So an open circle means it cannot be exactly 10, but it can be just below it or just above it, depending on which way our inequality is facing. Okay, so x is less than 10. What do we think? Is it going to go towards 9 or 11? 9. Okay, B. I want you guys to, I don't think you need to rewrite it. Obviously, the first step is going to be to draw that line. Think about what you need to do to get rid of that 4, because we want to get n by itself. Good job thinking about it out loud. All right, so we're going to divide by 4. Okay, my 4's cancel, and I'm left with n is greater than or equal to 32 divided by 4, which is 8. All right, am I done? Graph the solution. All right, what number is going to go in the middle? 8, and then 7 and 9. Is it going to be an open or a closed circle? Closed. Okay. Is it going to go towards 7 or 9? Towards the 9, because n is greater than or equal to 8. By the way, guys, so something I remember, I'll pull it back down to that problem in a second. It's an open circle for less than or greater than or less than. It's a closed circle for greater than or equal to or less than or equal to. And the way I remember that is it takes more ink to draw these symbols. So more ink in the circle. It takes less ink to draw these symbols, so just an open circle. Okay. All right, this last one's a little bit tricky. So I'm going to rewrite this problem as 2/3 x. That's the exact same thing that's printed here. The only difference is I pulled the x out in front, is less than or equal to 4. So this one, to get rid of, right now it's 2/3 times x. So what would we do to get rid of that 2/3? Divide by 2/3. And when we divide by a fraction, what do?
Make it into a whole number.
It's 3 letters. Keep, change, flip. Okay? So instead of dividing by 2/3, you are actually multiplying by 3/2, right? Because we keep the first number the same, change division to multiplication, and flip the fraction. So we're going to multiply both sides by this fraction flipped upside down. So I'm going to show you what it looks like. Oops, I forgot to draw my line. Okay, so see how my 3's will cancel each other out and see how my 2's will cancel each other out? Yeah, that just leaves you with 1 and an x, which is great. That's exactly what we want. Okay, so we get x is less than or equal to 4 times 3/2. So how do I write 4 as a fraction? 4/1. Then what do I do to multiply these? Straight across is the second step.
Cross canceling.
Yeah, check for cross canceling. Is there any cross canceling in this one?
Yes.
Brenda, pick up your head, please. You need to write this down. Are you on the right page? Okay. All right, so 4 and 2. All right, so these two can both be divided by, okay, 4 divided by 2 is 2. 2 divided by 2 is 1. Can I cross cancel 3 and 1? No. All right, what's 2 times 3? What is 1 times 1? So 6/1, which is just 6. So x is less than or equal to 6. Okay, am I done?
No.
Graph the solution. Okay, 6, 5, and 7. Open or a closed circle? Closed circle. Okay, x is less than or equal to 6. Is it going to go towards 5 or towards 7? 5. Good job, guys. Oh, I wasn't recording.